I think what's happening in America right now is really exciting. The protests, this student-led movement to mobilize thousands of people to take the streets and fight for what they believe is just is inspiring, and I wish I was there. On Fridays, on my way from work to home, I usually take the Dolmuş, which is a yellow minibus, public transportation, to the bottom of Kadıköy, and then I walk to Moda. And I use this street called Bahariye Caddesi, Bahariye Street. And Bahariye Street is full of shops on each side, and it's a really wide street, and it's always very crowded. On the end of Bahariye, near Moda, there's a music hall that plays like classical music concerts, and there's always a group of protesters outside of that music hall every Friday evening, and sometimes I've joined them, but without exception, they are there every Friday protesting the atrocity that happens that week. A couple months ago, I was doing what I normally do. I go from work to home, and I'm on Bahariye Caddesi, and that week, I don't remember what happened. When I look back, it's like a bad haze of chaos, corruption, scandals, injustice. So I don't remember exactly what happened that week, but something extraordinary happened, and there were a lot of police officers. There was a convoy of police vehicles stretching the entire span of Bahariye Caddesi, starting from the very beginning, so something was up. And so I'm walking up the street, and before I got to the music hall, there was two musicians, and they were playing, I think one of them was playing the saxophone and the other one was playing a clarinet, but they might have been both playing saxophone, I can't remember quite. But I was walking with my husband, and we both stopped and looked at these musicians, and they were jamming. They were good musicians too, so it was really like lively music. And behind them was this row of armed police officers, and they looked as if they were about ready to pounce on these musicians. And it was indeed a sight to pause for. And I remember feeling really conflicted about, should I take out my camera? Can I record this? Because there were so many police officers that day, and at the time there were so many arrests. And I was scared, and I didn't take that picture, and I regret it. And this is just to say that it's so important to protest when you still have your freedom. And I think that this plays out in what I'm about to say. So last week there was the transaction of Doğan Media Group selling Kanal D, CNN Turk, and Hürriyet, major news outlets, and $1.2 billion, I think, was received. And although Turkey's media was already the puppet of the government, there was this slight piece that was still there, that was reporting. And now that that has been sold away, it's devastating. So the reaction was just you could barely hear the echo of disapproval in the streets. It was just came and went, it feels like, at least. But I also don't have a TV, so I'm kind of outside of that. I don't really see an upside to this. I was expecting massive protests, just like we banged on pots and pans on April 16th. I thought there was going to be something like that, and there wasn't. And it's like the Turkish people are all on Tinder, but it's a Tinder of chaos and you swipe left, catastrophe after catastrophe after catastrophe, and after a certain point you swipe left enough and you become so desensitized and so tired of this ongoing stream of bad news that you become complacent. And that's the complacency. It's the same complacency that people born into freedom have about their freedom. And I think that's dangerous. While most people my age in Turkey that have grown up in Turkey are tired and they just want a way out because they're fed up, which I totally understand. But I grew up in America and I have energy and I want to put this energy into good use. And so Zona is a part of this energy. Zona is a collaboration between my husband and I, and we are making a live performance. I did another song, he did another song, and I did the visuals for that song this week. So we're well on our way to getting to that end point, and it's going well. But Zona and this zoning out, this escape from this chaos it's great. It's an abstracted form of art. It went really hand in hand with my journey into Vipassana meditation. I also was able to learn how to create visuals in a live atmosphere, which are all great tools that I'm going to be using in Turkey, and I can't wait to get more gigs and do it more often. That is one part of the kind of artistic journey I want to take. What I'm passionate about is doing animated documentaries. And I haven't talked about this yet because it's a long process, and I take seriously my reporting and the research process and making sure that these stories are told in a well-balanced but poignant way. And so I've been working on 4 stories and a movement. And I'm working on all 4 of them at the same time because I don't know which one's gonna not work out, and I wanna do them all. So I will not go into too much detail about these stories because, to be honest, they're all politically sensitive and dangerous, to be honest. The movement is about recycling and education and plastic, and it's got multiple layers, and I'm really excited about it. I need help. So far I've enlisted some friends of mine, lawyers, political scientists, advisors that I can count on for good advice, because what I want more than anything is to be really responsible when I do these projects. And I've been researching a bunch, and at this point I need to start branching out and talking and interviewing people, and this quite honestly scares me to death. There are so many instances when I get frustrated with something. Like, for example, there's a woman at my gym that takes 30-minute showers, and it's really high pressure water. I mean, it's just a waste of water. And so I'll get pissed and I'll create this jury-worthy opening statement, right? In my head, and then it'll stay in my head and I won't talk to them. I won't confront what's bothering me, and that bothers me. I need to find courage. Just like I didn't take that picture, I don't talk about things that irritate the crap out of me. Where did my courage go? I think if this was America, I would call them out immediately. But not here. There's something that happens to me. I feel like my vocal cords have been cut, and I need help. I need practice. Maybe I need somebody to help me talk with people, because it scares me, quite honestly, to just go up to a stranger and start asking questions. And so I feel like I need somebody's help. That's where I am right now with that. And hopefully with time it'll get better. I already feel like getting better. The more I research, the more I feel like I have a grasp on what's happening, the better questions I come up with. To leave on a happy note, I am now starting to teach young children the art of storytelling through animation. And I'm very excited about that. I have a feeling it's going to give me a refreshed sense of purpose. And being around young children, I'm just so excited about it. I can't wait to have this thing grow so I can get some more people on the team. Take care, peace, and happiness.